Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chapter 3, Part 2 of SAP Configuration Walkthrough. So, in the last walkthrough, we ended right here, what says end, but we didn't actually complete this step here. We did complete this previous step up here, but we stopped as soon as we saw this. So, we still have to complete the section 3.7 set price of activity type for your IT cost center. So if you are already logged into your SAP Easy Access menu, we are going to follow this file path here. So let's go accounting, controlling cost centers, planning, activity, output slash prices, and then change. So we're going to be looking for the T code, and the T code is right here. If you do not see this present, again, check chapter 1 and see what you are missing. So we're going to double click to enter the screen. So in this pop-up menu, we have to enter our controlling area. So we're going to go ahead and hit search. And we'll have this menu pop up. And we're just going to scroll down to our respective NA. And we are NA26. This is where you will choose your respective code. After you selected your code, go ahead and hit continue. Hit either click continue here or hit enter on your keyboard to bring you to the screen. The change activity type price planning initial screen. All right, so now that we are here, we are going to input this data that we have on this document here. So document, we're going to search up and plan / act vision. It's going to be 0. All right. So we're going to put 0 up here there. And then for period, we're going to put from period 1 and to period, we're going to put 12. Fiscal year is going to be our current year, 2026. And for cost center, we're going to put RIT cost center. So we're going to hit search. And we're just make sure that it's your controlling area, your company code here. So it only searches for your company specifically. It should already be in there, but if it's not, go ahead and input the information, or else you're going to get everybody else's information as well. So once you input that data, go ahead and click search. And we'll have this menu here. So if you did input your data specifically, since I am GBI user 026, I can see all of these companies. And if you're not seeing this screen, then it must mean that you did not complete the Appendix A portion of the Chapter 3. It's in Part 1. So go ahead and fill that out if you do not see the screen. So if you do see the screen, then we're going to continue and find our IT cost center, which it looks like it's right here in the short text. So IT cost center, and it's going to put this code in right here. So we're just going to double click our IT cost center. There's our code right there. And then activity type. Oh, just scroll down. Where's activity type? There it is. Activity type. So if you don't see the whole screen, you can either make it larger so you can see everything, or you can just go ahead and max that out on one side, and now we can see the whole thing. All right. So where were we? Cost center, we got cost center activity type right here. We're going to search, and it says your programming hours. So it's going to bring us up to this menu, and we have our controlling area here. To make sure that we only search our controlling area, we're going to hit start search. And it looks like it's the only option available for our programming hours. So we're just going to double click that. Oh, not IT. It says your programming hours. So yeah, programming hours. There we go. And just double check to make sure we have everything correct. 0 is for the version number, period 1. And then 2 period is period 12, current year 2026. Our cost Your IT cost center, here's the code, but over here we can see it's a global IT cost, which is what we're looking for. And activity type is going to be programming, which we can see right here, programming hours. So once we have all that information ready to go, we're simply going to click down here where it says overview screen. Scroll down at the overview screen. And now we are going to be brought to the change activity type / price planning overview screen. So we're on the correct screen, as we can see there, and we're going to enter the following information. So the reason this part is already grayed out is because this part already has information that we need, or we don't need to input anything. The only thing we need to input is the stuff that isn't grayed out. So right here, the planning. So if we look at activity, it wants programming, that's already there. For activity, plan activity, it's going to be 100. And then for district, it already has 2. Capacity, it says do not write anything in the space, and indeed it is clear. For distribution key, it's going to be 2. Unit doesn't say anything about units, and we can't change that anyway, so we're going to leave that as is. Actually, that's a unit for hours. And for fixed price, doesn't say anything. Oh, fixed price, don't write anything in that space. And variable price, we're going to write 200. So again, the only thing that we really have to input in this section, since everything else is already in there or we don't need to change, is going to be our plan activity, which is going to be 100, and our variable price, which is going to be right here, which is going to be 200. Once we click 200, it says click enter. I don't see a green arrow here, so we're just going to enter on our keyboard. And it's going to go ahead and enter that information in. And then it says click post. So post is down here, clicking post. And it says change data has been posted. Perfect, so receive that message, so it's all good. So that went ahead and finished out the rest of that master data. And now we're going to be continuing on to testing. So we've got a lot of testing to do, so let's continue on to section 4.1, create distribution cycle. All right, so now that we finished that, we are going to open up a new GUI. We're going to close this one. All right. Now that we have our new GUI in the easy access menu, we're going to follow this file path. So accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, period, and closing right here. Single functions, allocations, and distribution. If it's asking for a T code, there it is. We're going to double click to enter into distributions. So now we can see our distributions. Let's see, in the execute actual distribution and initial screen, which is where we're in, follow the navigation path below. Okay, so navigation. So in the SAP menu bar, which is this top bar up here, we're going to go to extras. All right, cycle, and then create. Yep, extras, cycle, and then create. We're going to click on that. Or we can just simply hit that shortcut, which is Shift F5. To get to this menu, the create actual distribution cycle initial screen. So once we're in the screen, we're going to enter the following information. I'm going to copy and paste just to make sure I don't make any errors. So cycle, I'm going to copy that over. It's going to be DCC0. And we're just going to add our number in there at the end. Again, I am user 26. I'm going to put 26, and you will put in your respective number. Start date, it's going to be the start of the current day. Start first day of current year. So it's going to be January 01/01/26. There it is. All right. So once we selected that, DCCC026, and then first day, perfect. We're going to click execute, which is down here. And it's going to bring us to the create actual distribution cycle header data screen. We're going to go ahead and enter the following information. So the to date, we need to change the last 4 to 9999. And then for text, looks like we're just gonna copy and paste this text right over. And wherever we see those pound signs or hashtag signs, we're just gonna put our number. So make sure you put your appropriate number there. So it should read 0 and your number monthly um, EXP distribution. Once that information has been entered, it says press enter on your keyboard. So we're going to push enter. And then in the create actual distribution cycle header, so in the same menu I see, follow the navigation path below. All right, so again, it's going to be the SAP menu bar. Go to cycle run group. So we're going to go ahead and do that, or you can hit Control F7 as a shortcut, but we're going to go ahead and click that. And it's going to bring up this menu, the determine cycle run group. So it doesn't say we change anything. It just says click, is it copy? Oh, no, click create groups, which is going to be right here. It's that little single page. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to bring us to the create cycle run group screen, as you can see here. So we're going to copy this data over, and it says that for cycle run group, we're going to put, I think that's a 0. Can't tell if it's a 0 or an O, but I just copied that over, and we're going to put our number there, IM26, and you will put your respective number, as well as copying up the text for the text box here. And again, replace this part with your number. So looks like it's all good. And after that's done, hit confirm, which is this little check mark. And then we're going to get this information pop up. It's going to say cycle group for G. I'm going to say 0 was created. Your respective number was successfully created, which is good. And we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. And then in the determination cycle run group, it looks like it changed to our cycle run group. We're going to go ahead and click hit enter on a keyboard, or we can click the little green check mark here, which is going to bring us to this create actual distribution cycle header data screen. We're going to click segment attachment, which is located right up here, or you can hit Shift F8. We're going to go ahead and click this button, and it's going to bring us to the create actual distribution cycle segment menu. So now we're going to enter the following information. And as always, I am going to copy and paste to ensure I don't make any errors. I'm going to add my respective number there, and you will do the same, but with your number. And then description box is this one. So segment name, description, sender rules right here. It says, oh, posted amounts was already selected. Perfect. And then it says shared in. It already has 100. So don't have to change that. And then it says actual values selected, and it's already selected. So we don't have to change that either. And then receiver rules. We do have to change this part. It needs to be fixed percentages. So in that drop down menu, just click fixed percentages. It's going to get rid of the bottom boxes that we just saw. So now that all that data has been entered in, we're going to click on the senders I'll double check real quick. Posted amounts 100, and it's selected, and then fixed percentages. Okay, so now that we have all that data entered, we're going to click on the senders/receivers tab, which is here. And this screen right here is a little bit confusing to read, but let's go ahead and figure this out together, because there's a lot going on, and this isn't it's not too friendly. But if we click here, so senders, which is going to be this row here, and we're going to find cost centers, which is the top one, and from. So it's going to be this box here. So senders, cost centers, and from, we're going to search up our copy center. So let's figure this out. So again, this data should already be in here. If it's not, go ahead and put your respective NA number and US, your controlling area and your company code, and go ahead and hit search so that we're only searching for our company and our area code. And if you did it correctly, you should only see your number here. Since I am user 26, I only see 26, and you'll see your respective number. So where were we? Cost center, or excuse me, copy center right here. So it's going to be our copy center. So we're going to have this code over here pop up whenever we select it, the NACC 10, and it's going to have your number there after that. So I'm going to double click on copy center, and it'll populate there. And then the next one is going to be sender, which is here, cost element, which is the bottom one, and from. So it's going to be this one here, sender, cost element, and from. And we're going to hit the little search menu, and we're going to find supplies expense. Again, we're just going to search. I'm going to click over to cost element and do the search over here. Yes, there we go. Is that what we wanted? Yes. Actually, hold on. This doesn't have our chart of accounts. So we can search our chart of accounts. Just to make sure if we need to search our chart of accounts, we want to make sure that it's selected. So we are 26. Let's see what this gives us. Oh, perfect. This is our chart of accounts, but since we're looking for cost element, is it cost element? Yeah, so I think this screen might be a little bit better because it already has our cost elements. So start search there. What's going on? Getting a little bit of lag. Yeah, cost element. Your supplies expense. Yeah, okay, this screen is a lot better. So yeah, whenever you search for this, just make sure it's in the cost element and that you only see your information here. So it is supplies expense. I believe it is in, oh, here it is. It is not, it's not an alphabetical order specifically, but here's our supply expense. It's going to be 470000. So we're going to double click on supply expense right here for cost element. And the next one is going to be sender cost element. Again, the one, this guy down here, and two. So it's going to be this guy over here. So again, that's sender cost element and two. So we're going to click the search, and this is going to be our utilities. So again, let's make sure we search in the cost element. Or cost element may be better. Is it alphabetical? No, cost element is not alphabetical, is it? I don't know why it keeps doing that. We're gonna stick to cost elements. So let's find utilities. Utilities. It's supposed to be utilities expense, but I think they forgot to put expense there. If you see utilities expense, go ahead and select utilities expense. Just make sure it's your number. So it should be 741500 is going to be the code that pops up, but make sure it is your utilities expense. All right, so now that we got these three selected, now the last one is going to be receiver here, cost center, and group, which is all the way over here. So again, receiver, cost center, and group. So in this section, we are going to look up for our marketing and sales. Oh, all right, I brought this up. There it is, marketing and sales. Make sure that is your marketing and sales. So it should be N30 and your last identifier. I'm 26, so that's why it has ours there. I'm gonna go ahead and double click that. All right, just making sure we have the correct ones. Yep, sender, cost center, and from. Sender, cost element, and from. Sender, cost element, and to. And last but not least, receiver, cost sender, and group. So now that we double check to make sure that we have the correct information, it says click on the receiver tracing tab. So it's going to be this guy over here. So this is sender slash receivers. So receivers tracing tab. It's going to bring us to this menu here. Oh, Okay, perfect. So it says this screen tells us what data values we want to input for which one. And we're just going to make sure that they're in order. We got NAGS10 and then our number. So that one's going to be 10%. And then we got NAMIC 10 and our number. That one's going to be 60%. And then we got NASA, which is going to be 30%. So again, 10, 60, and 30. So now that we got these portion percentages entered, we're going to go ahead and click on the segment header tab, which is right here. So once we're there, segment header tab, we're going to, in the create actual distribution cycle segment, we're going to click this little balance, the formal check button. So let's go ahead and click that. And then you'll receive a pop-up and it says hit continue. So choose a receiver, tracing back family after okay. So we're gonna hit continue. And then after that, it says click no check. So we did receive this message down here that says formal cycle check was successful. That's good. And it says click no check, which is gonna be down below. So after we click no check, we're gonna get this message that says cycle DC with our respective numbers, starting date first of the year, and our respective year, 2026, has been saved. So that means that we executed this portion well. Moving on to section 4.2, let's open up a new GUI. Let's close out the old one. And again, this is our error log back here. If we need it, we'll refer to it. It's just, if you encounter any errors, refer to the error log. It has common errors that pop up. All right, so moving on to section 4.2, post expense to cost center. In the SAP Z-axis menu, let's follow this file path. So we're going to go to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry. Is that enter GL account document? So that's going to be the first one. Here we go, the enter GL account document. What is a transaction code? Here you can see the transaction code there. I'm going to double click to enter our menu here. So it says enter the GL account document company code US and verify that it is your company code up here. I am 26, so we are in the correct screen, and enter the following information. Make sure you're in the correct screen. If you're not in the correct screen, I believe you hit, I think everyone should be as a, yeah. Yeah, you should be in the correct screen. If you're not in the correct screen, go ahead and let's see. I think everybody should be in the correct screen because it should bring you up to this. If not, go ahead and ask for help or refer to the chapter 3 for help. So where was I? Okay, so we're going to input this data here. And if you do not see the cost centers, which we do not, it says scroll to the right. So let's scroll to the right. There's cost centers right here. So for document date, let's see, today's date. So we're just going to click on this search menu, today's date, highlight today's date. Perfect. And then currency USD is actually already selected. So we have to select that. If it's not for you, go ahead and fill in that information. So let's see. And now we need to enter things into the GL account. So that's going to be down here. So in the first line, we're going to search for our supplies expense. And we're just going to simply hit search. It should be searching your chart of accounts. All right. So now we have to find our supplies expense. It looks like it is in alphabetical order, I believe. OPQRS. We got sales. There it is. Right here, supplies expense. All right, now we've located supplies expense. It's going to be 740000. So click on supplies expense and we'll see that account number there. And we're going to go ahead and click debit, and it's going to copy and paste this number, but it will be 1,000, and we're entering that account in document right here. All right, so 1,000. And for cost center, remember to scroll right to see cost center. And in cost center, we're going to find our, oh no, not cost center, copy center. For cost center, we're going to put our copy center. Looking up cost centers, going to hit search underneath cost center here, search menu, and we're going to find our copy center. So we can tell it's ours because it says 26. This is our copy center. We're going to double click on our copy center and it'll bring up that code. Let me just double check that's the correct code. Yeah, so for our copy center, it is going to be NACC10 and then our number here. Your number will be there, but that is correct. NACC1026 is our number, so perfect. So that is our copy center. And that is what we're going to put in for the first line. So moving on to the next line, we're going to find our rent expense. Once this pops up, we're going to hit search. And then we're going to scroll down. QR, all right, here it is, rent expense for our company code, and that's going to be 740300. Double click, and that's what should appear here, 740300, perfect. And we're also going to debit this account for the same amount of 1,000. And again, we are going to find our copy center as our cost center. You can either do it this way to look it up and then just double click on copy center, or you should just be able to copy and paste. If it gives you any errors and this turns all red, you might have to go out and then do it again. I had that issue and it didn't really let me fix anything. So I didn't save anything. I just backed out and came back into that menu. So if you encounter that problem, go ahead and do that. So, and moving on to our next line item, it's going to be utilities. All right, so we're going to search for our GL account. Hit search. And let's scroll down. It is alphabetical. Utilities is all the way down, and make sure it's your utilities expense. As you can see right here, IM26, so that is my account. So utilities expense, double clicking, and I'm sure that's the right account, but let's just verify so we don't have any errors. 741,500. 741,500. All right, and again, that is a debit, and it's going to be 1,000 as well. And it's going to, our cost center is going to be our copy center. So again, we're going to hit search and find our copy center right here. Copy center, double click, and these are all your same copy center. So these are all going to have the same code. And last but not least, we're going to find, on the next line down, we're going to find our bank account. So we're going to find that GL account. Let's go ahead and search again. Right here, bank account, 100,000 bank account. It is our account. So we're going to double click on our bank account. There we go. And then this is going to be a credit, and this is the accounting side. So, we don't have to, oh, here we go, down here. Yeah, so this is accounting. So we have to make sure that it balances out. So that's why this is going to be 3,000 because if we're debiting 1,000 each, it has to balance out. So it has to be 300, and it doesn't say anything about a cost center. So let me just scroll back up and make sure we have all the accounts. We have today's date, we have the USD up top, we have our supplies account, debit 1,000, and looks like the rest of it's the same. We have the correct accounts here. We already verified our bank account is a credit, and 3,000 is being sent into that account. So once we are done with this, it says click hit enter on keyboard. We're going to hit enter on our keyboard, and it's going to post these. Or we're just going to get green check marks after we hit enter. And now we're going to post these transactions. So post. And it says that you receive a document that gives your document number. So this is our fourth document we created. If you guys remember, the first document was 0, and this one has a number of 3. So this is our fourth document we've created. If you've had any errors, this number might be a little bit different, but just keep that in mind. If you had to go back and recreate a document, this number might be a little bit different. But it says, yeah, you receive a message that your document was posted in the company and our US code. So make sure that is your US code to make sure you did it correct. And the next question is actually, what is a resulting document number? You can go ahead and answer that with your respective document number. And that finishes it up for section 4.3. Now moving on to section, 4.2, moving on to section 4.3, we're going to open up a new GUI. We're going to close this old one and move that over. Okay. So section 4.3, process cost center report. Let's follow this navigation path. All right, so let's go to accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, information systems, reports for cost center accounting, plan / compensations, and then uh, cost center actual plan variance. All right, so this is, if you see this right here, this is going to be our uh, T code if you need it. Remember, it's always going to be the last 4. Yeah, so cost center actual plan. All right, so once we have reached this area here, we're going to double click on this to enter this menu. All right, took a second to get in. All right. In case you receive the error below, click enter to proceed. We did not receive any errors as of yet, so that's good. So yeah, we came straight into the cost center's actual plan variance selection screen, and we are going to enter the following information. Your controlling area, our controlling area has already been entered for us, so that's okay. And if you need to search for your controlling area, again, just hit this little find button as we've been doing before. I'm sure most of you guys are already comfortable with that. And go ahead and scroll down and find your respective controlling area. Okay. Ours was already selected for us. Current year, it has also been entered for us, which is 2026. Period 1 and period from is period 1 to periods 12. Again, already entered for us. Perfect. If it's not, go ahead and enter this information yourself. And for plan version, we already have version 0. Got to double check that that's a plan / act version. It should be, which it is. Plan / act version. This one doesn't have a dash, but I think that should be okay. Either way, yeah, it's supposed to be zero because it has a zero here. So even if we double click that, it's going to still be zero. So you can either look for it there or you can just type in zero. And then for cost center group, so pay attention to this part right here. That says cost center group, which is the top one, or values. So because it says or values, go ahead and use the bottom one. If you try looking for the top one, I tried looking for it. I could not find what we needed. So that's why when it says cost center group or values, we're going to go ahead and enter it on the or values, the second bar below. So we're going to go ahead and hit search, and we're going to find our copy center. So again, underneath cost center, we're going to just hit search. And then we're gonna find our copy center, which is right here, and make sure that it's yours. I am user 26. That's why you see 26. Double check, click on the copy center. It's gonna be NACC010, and for me, it's gonna be 26. That's gonna be your number there. So we have our copy center selected, and for cost element group, that's the top one. This one doesn't say or values. It's not like it matters. This says clear out, nothing in this field. All right, so nothing has to be field. So yeah, we have our controlling error physical year from 1 to 12. This is 0. This is our copy center and nothing here. So once that is all filled out, we're going to go ahead and click execute, which is down at the bottom. And we can see how much our cost center debited, or the transactions that went through it. So now it says how much debit is posting. So you can go ahead and answer that here. This is a debit. And that answers that question here. So if you don't see these numbers, go ahead and ask for help, because you might have done, well, you did do something wrong if you do not see these correct numbers. So after that, all right, what's the next part? In the cost center's actual plan / variance screen, double click supplies expense. Supplies expense is going to be our top one here. So we're going to double click supplies expense. And it says in the select report pop-up, select cost center's actual line. So that's our top option here. We can see little brackets that are actually selecting it. And we're gonna hit click on choose. Formatting report, it's loading. All right, here we go. And now it says in the display actual cost line items for cost center screen, double click on the line item. We only have one line item since we selected supplies expense. We're going to double click on that. And it says, is this your original posting? And if you guys remember, we did enter this information. So, all right. So in the display documents entry view, click back twice. All right. So back once, back twice. And if we receive this pop-up, we're going to click on yes. And then well, we're in a cost center. Yeah, okay. Click yes. Okay, so now we're in the cost centers. We're going to click back again. And then the pop-up, we're going to click yes again. It's loading. Okay, now you should be in the cost centers actual plan variance selection screen. Enter the following information. So under cost centers or group values, which is cost centers or group values, which is this one, we're going to find our marketing costs. So we're going to go ahead and hit search under cost centers, and we're going to find our marketing costs. Let's see. Marketing costs. Here we go. So make sure it is your number and marketing cost. Go ahead and double click to get that number there. And we're going to go ahead and hit execute. Right. No report contains no data. Check selection log. So the next question is, what is the over slash under absorption? Be sure to interpret the message you received to determine the account cost. So we didn't do anything with marketing costs. So since there's no data, that probably means there is no cost associated with this. So we're going to go ahead and hit back. And it says repeat the same thing for the following things, sales and global sales. So we're going to go ahead and click this section here. We're going to go ahead and search and we're going to look for sales. So search again, sales costs. Where is sales cost? Oh, all the way down here, sales cost. Make sure it's yours. Double click sales cost and hit execute. And again, we had nothing charged to the sales cost center. So that's probably have no information. We're going to hit back again, and now we are going to look for the next one down, which is our global sales costs. Search again for cost centers. Global sales cost. Here it is. It is ours. So we're going to double click on global sales cost, and we're going to go and hit execute. What is the total amount? Again, since we didn't do anything, it's going to be 0. And it looks like that is all for section 4.3. So we're going to open up a new graphic interface to start section 4.4. Going to close out this old one. And let's see, section 4.4, carry out actual distribution. So let's follow this file path down below. Accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, period and closing, single functions, and allocations menu, and then it's going to be distribution. So we're going to double click on distribution. There's our T code if we need it. Distributions, distribution. All right. So now that we've entered into this menu, in the execute actual distribution initial screen, we're going to enter the following information. So it says from period, current period, to period, current period, uh, fiscal year 2026. Let's see. Okay, so once the current period, these numbers are already input from current year period. So it says run test selected and detailed list is also selected, and it says your distribution cycle. Okay, so right here under cycle, we're gonna hit search, and it automatically populated our distribution start date and everything. So after that, it says click list selection. All right, here we go. List selection. Okay. Senders and receiver. Okay, check the senders and receivers box, which it is checked. And then we're going to click the save button right next to it. If yours isn't checked, go ahead and check it. I'm going to click that save button. And then the information, it says data was saved. We're going to click continue. And then for the settings, we're going to hit continue again. And we're going to hit execute. All right, so now that we hit execute, it says in the display CCA actual distribution basic list screen, you should see 3 cost senders, which we do right here, 3 cost senders, as well as 9 cost receivers, which are right here. There should also be a message, process completed without errors, right here, process completed without errors. So we do in fact have all that information. So that means everything went well. And now we're going to click receivers. Receivers is going to be up here. Clicking on receivers. And we have this whole information here. So it says how many different cost centers are there? So right here we can see cost centers and we can go ahead and count them. This cost element. It seems so if each one of these is a cost center, it looks like there's three and they just keep repeating themselves. And then this is a period it was actually charged to. So it looks like this was charged for period 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it go all the way to period 12? Okay, so it's charged every single month. So it appears like there's three cost centers, and how many different cost elements are there? So cost elements, it looks like there's 1, 2, and also 3 cost elements. So go ahead and double check that. And now we're gonna click back twice, 1 and 2. It says in the pop-up exit list, hit yes. And now it should be in the execute actual distributions initial screen. It says run test, deselect run test, and now we're gonna hit execute again, generating down here. And now in the display actual distribution basic list screen, there should be, again, three, three senders, three sender cost centers, as well as 9 receiver cost centers. There should also be a message that says process is complete without errors, which is right here. So that went well. All right, looks like we finished section 4.4, moving on to section 4.5. New graphic interface, closing out the old one. All right, so section 4.5, process cost centers report. Let's go ahead and follow this navigation path. So we got accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, information systems, reports for cost center accounting, plan / actual compensations, and is it the top one? Cost centers / cost centers actual plan variance. Yep, so it is the top one here. So we're going to double click to enter this menu. And here we are once again in this menu in the cost centers actual plan / variance selection screen. Enter the following information. So we have our controlling area, we have our current year. All of this seems like it carried over from last time. 0 for the plan version. And let's see, what does it want us to enter now? So underneath values and groups, which is going to be this one right here, we're going to find our copy center. Remember, copy center is what we charged things to last time. So right here, our copy center, double clicking, it is ours. And it says for cost element group, there should be nothing. So nothing should be here. Once that is complete, we're gonna go ahead and hit execute. All right, so it says how much is in debit posting? And the next one is how much is in credit posting? All right, moving on to the next part. It says in the cost centers actual problem variance screen, double click the second line item for your supplies expense. So this is a first line item of supplies expense. This is a second line item of cost expense. So we're going to go ahead and click the second line item for supplies expense. All right, so we're double clicking on that. In the pop-up, we're going to select the cost center's actual line item, and we're going to click choose the green check mark down below. It's generating the report. And now in the display actual cost line items center, double click the line item. It should be the only line item we have. And then in the display actual cost elements, we're going to click this little folder right here. to expand. And then does this information match your distribution? So supplies expense, rent expense, utility expense. All right, and after we've answered that question, we're going to go ahead and click back. And if we have this pop-up menu, we're going to hit yes. We're going to hit back again. We're going to get another pop-up menu. We're going to hit yes. Back again, another pop-up menu, and we're going to hit yes. And we should end up in the cost center's actual plan variance selection screen, which is where we are at. So after that, we're going to change this to our marketing costs center. So let's look for that. Marketing, I think it's at the bottom. There it is, marketing cost center. This one is ours. Marketing cost center. We're going to go ahead and hit execute. And now it's asking what is the over/under absorption amount, which is right here. And we're going to hit back, pop-up menu, click on yes. And then repeat the steps again for the next one. So now we're going to look for sales. So search, start search. Sales cost down here, double click on sales cost. We're going to hit execute. And what is the over under absorption for sales? Here we are. All right, we're going to hit back. Going to hit yes. And now we're going to search for our global sales costs. So again, hit search. Global sales costs, double click, clicking execute, generating a report, and here we go. Here is our over under. Once that has been complete, that is the end for section 4.5. Moving on to section 4.6. All right, so in this, we're going to create an assessment cycle. So let's follow that file path: accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, period and closing, single functions, allocations, and assessment. Right here, there's our T code. We're going to double click on assessment to enter this execute actual assessment initial screen. We're on the correct one. Follow the navigation path. So in our SAP menu bar, we don't have to hit more because we see the whole thing. But if you don't see it, go ahead and click the more section. But if not, we're going to go ahead and start with extras, cycle, and create right here. Or you're going to hit Shift F5 to go right into the menu. But if you do not see the whole menu, go ahead and hit more, then you'll be able to see extras. If you see extras, go ahead and select extras, cycle, and create. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that we're in this menu, let's see, where are we? Okay, so in the create assessment cycle in initial screen. All right, so if you already have data in here, don't worry about it. We're going to override it because we're going to be creating something new. So it's going to be ACC0 and then your respective number. I'm 26, so that's why I put 26 there. And then first day of the current year, it's already selected. If it's not selected for you, go ahead and enter the first day of this year. And then once that has been complete, it says hit enter on your keyboard. And it's going to bring us to this screen here. So for text, we're going to go ahead and copy this. For text, paste it over right there. And we're going to put our number, which is 26. Go ahead and put your respective number. And we do have to change this date. The last four should be 9999. All right. So then after that information has been entered, it says click and hit enter on your keyboard again. And Not sure if it changed anything, but in the create actual assessment cycle header data screen, enter the navigation path below. So again, up top, if you see the more, click more. If not, we're going to start at go to and cycle run group. So go ahead and click that, and it'll bring us to this menu once again. So in the determine cycle run group, click create group, which is this little page right here. So I'm going to click create group. We're not changing anything, just clicking create group. And in the create cycle run group screen, enter the following data. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste again. And we're going to put our number at the end. So it's going to be G0 and our respective number. And we're going to name this group here for the text. And make sure to put your number in as well. All right, so G026 group. Oh, yep, everything's looking good. After that, go ahead and hit confirm, which is this little green check mark. We're gonna have information pop up once again. It says it was successfully created. Perfect. We're gonna hit continue. And now in the determine cycle run group, we can see that our name populated in this section now. We're gonna click the check mark or hit enter on our keyboard. And it's gonna bring us back to this menu, the create actual assessment cycle header data screen. We're in the correct menu. Click attach segment, which is located right here. So we're gonna go ahead and click attach segment, and it's gonna take us to the create actual assessment cycle segment screen. So in the screen, we're going to enter this information. And again, I am going to copy and paste to ensure I do not make any mistakes, or at least reduce my chance of making mistakes. ACS, yes, all right. There, this is the description. Go ahead and enter your number. And then for assessment CELE, we're going to find your assessed costs. So looks like there's only two options, but we're going to choose our assessed costs. Double checking. Yeah, it's going to be the 8,000. Yeah, 800, 100. Okay, assessed cost for sender rule right here. It says posted amounts, which is already selected. Perfect. As share in percent, 100. All right. Actual value origins already selected. And for receiver rules, it's going to be, again, fixed percentages, which is going to get rid of this bottom part here. So just double checking to make sure everything's correct. 100 selected and fixed percentages. All right. Now it says, how many senders are there to choose from? We can just click that drop-down menu, make sure you don't change anything. And how many receivers are there to choose from? Click that drop-down menu and make sure that nothing is changed. It's still posted amounts and fixed percentages, so it's all good. So now that you have answered those two questions, we can move forward to the click senders/receivers tab, which is the next tab over. All right, so in this menu, we're gonna start off with senders here, cost center and from. So it's gonna be this top one, sender, cost center, and from. And we're gonna look up for our HR trade fair. So again, hit search. Right here, HR trade fair, double clicking, it's NAHR 20 and with our respective number. Next, we're gonna go receiver, cost center, and from. So that's this one as well, receiver, cost center, and from. We're gonna look up HR recruiting. Start search. HR recruiting. There it is. And this one is indeed ours. So NAHR 30 and our respective number. As you can see, it populate there. And the last one is going to be receiver cost center, but 2. So the next one over. And we're going to be looking for our marketing costs. Marketing costs right here. So NA, MK, 10, and our number. So marketing costs. I guess this makes a little bit sense. HR, but this one's also HR. And then MK is marketing costs. But yep, this is sender, cost center, from, receiver, cost center, from, and receiver, cost center, and 2. So now that we made sure that all of that is in the correct box, we can proceed to the next step. So let's go ahead and click the receiver's tracing factor, this last tab here. And now we have to assign the data values, but it doesn't tell us which one is which. So we kind of have to, well, we know that the marketing is this one, the NAMK1026. This is this is probably IT. Oh, it says HR. I don't know what. So I'm gonna guess that, let me, senders receivers. HR recruiting. So remember that HR recruiting is the same as this guy here. So the receiver, HR. Yeah, that's the correct one. NAHR 3020. Well, and your respective number. NAHR 30. Yep. So this is our correct HR recruiting. So we're going to enter 30 for that one. And remember that our marketing cost, if we double check over here, it's going to be our marketing cost center. And this is our marketing cost center that we use for the senders slash receivers. So NAMK10 and our respective number. NAMK10 our respective number. So this is going to have the number of 70. Yeah. All right. So after we've input that information there, we're going to click on the segment header. And then in the create actual assessment segment, click the balancing, this guy right here, the formal check. So let's go ahead and click formal check. I said you should receive a message. Formal cycle was successful, which we see down here. So it indeed was successful. And then after that is done, we can click no check. And then we're going to receive this message that says cycle ACC 0 and our respective number, starting date the first of the year 2026 has been saved, which we did get that information. So now we can proceed to the next section. All right, section 4.7, post expense to cost center. Let's go and follow this file path. So we got accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, enter GL account document. Here we go. Double click to enter here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and enter today's date. Click here, double click here to select today's date. USD has already been selected. And now we're going to enter some more some more data into this journal. So we're going to select our supplies expense. Click here, hit start search. Let's find our supplies expense. Here it is, supplies expense, 740000. All right, supplies expense, it's going to be debit 800. And the cost center, so remember to scroll over to the right to find that cost center. There it is, right here, cost center. We'll just put it right there. All right, so then the cost center is going to be our HR fair trade. So let's go ahead and search up that fair trade, HR fair trade. Excuse me, HR trade fair. It is our number. It's going to be NAHR20, our respective number. Perfect. Next entry, rent expense. So let's go ahead and search. Go ahead and find rent. Right there, rent expense, 740300. And again, this is going to be a debit, and this time it's going to be 300. And we're going to search for our HR trade fair cost center. HR trade fair cost center, double click, should be the same as above. And last but not least, we're going to find our bank account. Double click on our bank account. There it is. It's going to be credit. And since we have to balance out the account, 800 plus 300 is equal to 1,100. So that's why that's that. And that is it. So we got today's date, we got USD, supplies expense, debit 800, and our HR trade fair. And again, rent expense, debit 300, HR trade fair, our bank account, credit, and a sum of these two together. If you guys took accounting, you guys remember these journal entries. So after we have entered all that information in, and here, if you don't see the cost center, just telling you, scroll right to find our cost center, which we already did. So once we have entered all the information in, we're going to hit enter on our keyboard. We're going to get those green check marks. Perfect. And now we're going to click post. And it says document entry was posted for company code US26, which is indeed our company. All right, and this question 55 is asking, what is the resulting document number? Go ahead. And we did get this information. So now we're going to move on to section 4.8, process cost center report. So here we are. Let's follow this navigation path. All right, so accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, information systems, reports for cost center accounting, plans / actual comparisons, and then again, cost centers actual plan / variance. All right, here we go. Wants a T code. There it is. All right, let's enter this menu. So it says in the cost center's actual plan variance selection screen. We're here once again, so our controlling area should still be there. Current year period from period 1 to period 12. This should still be 0. We're going to enter under the cost center groups or values. So it's going to be our value. it's going to be our HR trade fair. So let's go ahead and search for that. Right here, HR trade fair. There it is. And again, nothing should be in the cost element group, which there is nothing. And we're going to go ahead, hit execute. So I'll let you go ahead and answer what cost center we posted to our last group and what cost centers are you checking in this step. So after we hit execute, we came to this screen. How much debit is posting? You can see that there. And in the cost centers, actual plan variance screen, double click rent expense. So we're going to double click rent expense. In the line item, select cost centers actual line items, which is the top one. And we're going to hit choose. And now it's going to bring us to the display actual cost line item for cost centers screen. Double click the line item. There's only one line item. So double clicking that line item. And we're going to come up with this screen. A document will be displayed. This should be the document you created in the previous screen, which it is indeed. We created the supplies expense and the rent expense with its appropriate allocated amounts and the amount that we got charged to a bank. So remember, this was debited and then this was credited. I'll let you answer question 60. Is this our original posting? And that does it for that section. Moving on to section 4.9. Carry out actual assessment. All right, let's follow this file path once again. So accounting, controlling, costs, center accounting, and period and closing, single functions, allocations, and assessment. Here we are. If we need a T code, there it is. What is a transaction code to post assessment? What is a transaction code to post overhead commitment? Go ahead and answer those questions. And let's move forward. So in the execute actual assessment initial screen, which we are in, enter the following information. So it says current period, to period, current period, and that says run current year, run test is selected, details is selected, and now for cycle, we need to select our cycle. So we're going to go ahead and hit search right next to it, your assessment cycle, and it automatically populated with our HR group assessment cycle. So now that that has been entered, so we're going to hit execute. As formulating, it says in the CAA actual assessment basic list screen, you should see one sender, which we do see one sender here as a cost sender, as well as two receiver cost centers, which we do here. There should also be a message that there should also be a message processing complete without errors, which is up here. And that all checks out. So we're going to click receiver, which is located up here. And it looks like this did the same thing as last time. It went ahead and oh, this one only happened in period 4. So that's why we can see when this was actually charged. So in the display screens, you'll see receiving cost center verified that the cost center and tracing factors percentage was correct. All right, how many different cost centers are there? Those are cost centers. Actually, yeah, cost centers. We have 2 that there are 2 here. And how many different cost elements? Looks like it's just 1. So we're going to click back twice. Click yes here. And now in the execute actual assessment initial screen, enter the following information. We're going to deselect run test or test run. and gonna hit execute once again. And it says in the display CC actual assessment basic list screen, you should see at least one sender, which is right here, one sender cost center, as well as two receiver cost centers, which are here. And there should also be a message, processing complete without errors, right up here. So it looks like we did this step correct as well. Moving on to section 4.10, process cost center reporting. All right, so let's go ahead and follow this navigation path. Accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, information systems, reports for cost accounting, plan / actual compensation, and cost centers counting actual variance, or yeah, cost centers actual plan variance. All right, here we go. Let's enter the screen. Okay, so this should all still be the same since we're entering the same thing. Our controlling area, current year, fiscal year. Plan version is still 0, but for the values here, we're going to enter HR trade fair. So let's go search. HR, right here, HR trade fair. Double click on that. And then the rest should be cleared out, which it is. Hit execute. So in the cost center's actual plan / variance screen, double click your assessed cost. All right, so this is our assessed cost. Double click there, and then in the pop-up, double click the cost center's actual line items. So we're double clicking on that. This will bring you to original posting. Okay. In the display actual cost document screen, where you're going to click this. Oh, that's kind of weird. Expand. Maybe it was already expanded. I guess mine was already expanded. Okay, so all right. So does this information match your assessment account? Cost assess. And on this screen, do you see anywhere telling you what the exact costs were? And we can't see what the exact costs were. All right, so now we're going to click back after we answered those questions, and we're going to click yes. I'm going to click back again and click yes once again. And that should bring us to the screen again. The cost centers, actual plan variance selection screen. So now we're going to look up our HR recruiting cost center. Where's that? HR recruiting right here. Double click that, hit execute. So what is the over / under absorption amount? We can see that there. We're going to click back. We're going to click yes. So in this screen again, now we're going to look up our marketing cost center. So we're going to hit search. Where is it at? Marketing cost, right there. Double click marketing costs and hit execute. And then what is the assessment cost? Our assessed cost. We can see what the assessed cost is. And we're going to click back. I'm going to hit yes once again. And that does it for that section. Moving on to section 4.11. Internal activity allocation posting. So let's go ahead and follow this file path, accounting, controlling, cost center, accounting, actual postings, activity allocation, and enter. We can see our T code there. Double click to enter, enter. And now in the enter direct activity allocation screen, enter the following information. All right, so for sender CCTR, we're gonna look up for, it says your IT costs. So let's look up the IT cost center right here, IT costs, and it is indeed ours. Make sure that you select your IT costs. So we can see IT is gonna be NAIT 10 followed by our number. So your IT costs, that's the sender for whatever this is, SATY type. We're gonna look up our programming hours. Yeah, it should be the only thing available. So double click our programming hours. For receiver, I think receiver cost center, our marketing costs, cost center. Let's search. Where is it? Is that this one? Marketing costs. Yep, market NAMK 10 and our number. Marketing costs. Double click. And then for total quantity, it says to put 2. So our IT costs, our programming hours, our marketing cost. So this is sender, this is ours, this is receiver, and our total quantity is going to be 2. And it says press enter on your keyboard. And then what is the total amount charged to marketing? Uh, you'll need to scroll to the right. We scroll to the right. It looks like 400. It might be, yeah. So it looks like per hour it might be 200, multiplied by 2, 400. But the total amount charged is 400 USD. All right, so now we're going to click post. And you will receive a message that says document is posted under this number 24. What is document number? Go ahead and answer that. So that concludes that section. Going on to the next section, opening up a new GUI, closing out the old one. Section 4.12, Process Cost Center Report. Let's go ahead and follow this navigation path. So let's go to Accounting, Controlling, Cost Center Accounting, Information Systems, Reports for Cost Accounting, Plan/actual comparisons, and then again back to Cost Center's actual plan variance. Now that we're in the screen, again, this should all be the same. We haven't changed anything as of yet, except for the information we need to put here, but just double check to make sure it's fine. So we're going to look for our marketing costs. There it is, marketing costs, double click. There it is. And we're going to hit execute down below. How much is the debit posting? So we can see how much our debit's posting right there. In your cost center, plan variance, yeah. Double click XXIT. So our number IT programming. So we're going to click our IT programming line item. And then we're going to double click on cost center's actual line item. So the top selection, double click. Here we go. In the display action screen, double click the line item. All right, double clicking the line item. Okay. So in the display action, in the display actual cost line item cost center, double click on the line item. Oh, oh, it wants to know what the document number. Oh, so we already did that. So it wants to know what the document number is. And it looks like this is our document, our item number. So there's that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay, this is the display actual cost. Yeah, double click this line item. Yeah, now it's asking for the document number. So that is there. All right, moving on to section 4.13. Create internal orders. So let's follow this navigation path. So we got accounting, controlling, internal orders, master data, order manager. All right, there's our T code. Gonna double click to enter. So in the order manager, which we are in, click create. It's gonna be right there. All right, so now that we are in the create internal order screen, we're going to enter the following information. We're going to find our company picnic. Hit search. And that's us right here. So this is our company picnic. Double click. See if you're receiving select controlling area pop up, enter your controlling area. So we're going to hit continue. We didn't have that problem, so we're just going to hit continue. So in the create internal order master data screen, click on the assignments tab, which we're already on the assignments tab, enter the following information. So let's go ahead, copy and paste. So is this description? Yep. All right, description, and then person responsible, R. John Davis. So it says responsible cost center. So we got to find R. John Davis. Searching. There he is. R. John Davis, double clicking. And now click on the control data tab. And then click release. Oh, here it is. And it says you'll receive a message, order was released, which we do see down there. Perfect. So click settlement rule up top here. It'll take us to the maintain settlement rule overview. Enter the following information. So for CAT, we're going to enter cost center, CTR, cost center. For settlement receiver, we're going to enter our John Davis cost center. There he is, John Davis. For percent allocation, we're going to put 50. And then equivalent or number, we're not putting 0. And statement or is it settlement type? Yeah, settlement type. Here we go. We're going to enter periodic settlement. Periodic settlement should be per. All right, so the next line item, it says category once again is cost center. There we go, cost center. And receiver settlement, and now it's going to be Peter Weiss. Let's go find Peter Weiss. There he is. He's our Peter Weiss. Again, 50%. And then nothing for the equivalent number. And again, this is the settlement type. It's going to be periodic settlement once again. PER. All right, looks good. We're going to click on save. All right. And then it says your order was created with number down below. And we did get that statement. What is the resulting order number? Go ahead and put whatever you got. It might not be the same as mine. And moving on to section 4.14, display internal order balance. So new graphic user interface. All right, let's go ahead and follow this file path once again. Counting, controlling, internal orders, master data, special functions, order, and display. There it is. There's that T code for you. So in the display internal order screen, enter the following information. Your previous order number. I don't remember what my order number was, but we can easily search for it. And as a matter of fact, that it already automatically populated because that's the only order number we've made thus far. So it should have your only order number. If not, you can check, but you should only have one. So once we have that, we can press enter on our keyboard. And it's going to bring us to this screen. So in the display internal order master data screen, enter the following information. So up top in the menu bar, we're going to click extras and order balance right here. So go ahead and click on that. And we can answer this question. What is the balance of your internal order? And as we can see, there's our balance. All right, we're going to close that out. And we're going to move to section 4.15. Accumulated costs for the company picnic. All right, so in this SAP Easy Access menu, let's go ahead and follow this file path. Accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, enter GL. Let's see, enter GL account document. That is the correct one. Let's go in the screen once again. So let's enter today's date. USD is already selected. All right. So, and make sure that you are in your own company code, which we are. All right, so let's enter this information. So for our first GL account, it's going to be our supplies expense. Let's go ahead and search. There it is, supplies expense, 740000. Debit. 200. And for order, go over to order. We're gonna look for our company picnic. Let's go ahead and search. And it's the only thing that's available. That's the only order that we have thus far. So next, we're going to look for our rent expense. There it is, rent expense, 740,300. 740,300. All right, and this is also going to be a debit, and looks like it's going to be 750. And then again, we're going to be searching up our order number. Same as above. So now we need our miscellaneous expense. Miscellaneous expense. Yep, right here, miscellaneous expense, 741,000. 741,000, and then that's going to be a debit, and it's going to be 800. And once again, our order number. And the last thing is going to be petty cash, our petty cash account. Oh, there it is. Petty cash. Make sure it is your number. I am petty cash US 26 or GL 26. Make sure you select yours. If you are 14 or 15, you might have a problem with this. You need to make sure that you create your petty cash for your own account. So petty cash US 26, that is who I am. And you can tell because this number is correct here. All right, and it's gonna be a debit as well. And this time it's gonna be for the amount of $50. And it doesn't seem like we need to charge that to our company picnic account. And last but not least, we're gonna find our bank account. So search again. There it is, bank account. That is my bank account. And it's going to credit. And we need to make sure all this balances out. So it should be a total of 1,800 if you add all that correctly. And looks like we're not posting that to the actual order. So let's see. So it is today's date, our supplies expense. Let's see, all of them are debit except for the last one. And then we have the order of 200, 750, 850, and for a total of 1,800. These three are what were on the order, which makes sense. This thing was not on an order, and this is the account. We're debiting our bank account. All right, so once we've gone ahead and input all this information, it says click save. Save. No, click. It should be click post. All right, so we're going to click on this. And it says you'll receive a message that says document, and this is our 9th document here, was posted in our US company code 026, which is correct, and you can answer that question there. All right, moving on to, let's just open up a new GUI. Moving on to section 4.16, display internal order balance 2. Let's follow this easy access menu. So we've got accounting, controlling, internal orders, master data, special functions, order, and display once again. Double click to enter the menu. And again, I'm just double checking, but we only have one order, so that is our order number. Indeed it is. And then once we have that order number, it says just click enter. And here we are. All right, so now that we have entered this menu, okay, so in the display internal order master data, we're going to click on the top bar. We're going to go to extras and cost analysis. So before we move on, it says, what is a balance? Okay, that doesn't say that here. So cost analysis. All right, so what is the balance of your internal order? We can see that here. And what is the count missing from this balance? So here we can see what our account is. And if you guys remember, we charged 1,800 to our bank account. And what we're missing, I believe, if we scroll up, was it the petty cash? Yeah, we charged $50 to our petty cash account, which is not on the order. Because remember, there's only three things on the order, which are represented here. And this petty cash was not on the order. That's why we do not see it here. So what is the balance of internal order? So this is our total balance for our order, 1750. The count's missing is a petty cash. Okay. So let's move on to settle costs for the company picnic. So we're done with that there. So now to settle the costs, we're going to go to, let's see, the SAP access menu. Let's go to accounting, controlling, internal orders, period, and closing, single functions, settlement, and individual processing right there. So we're going to click on individual processing. Your internal order, again, we only have one order, but just to double check that is the correct one. As we can see, it's our only order thus far. So current period, current settlement period, and current posting period should be 12. Current year 2026, automatic, and deselect test run. So let's see, our order, current period, posting period. Do we need settlement period, we need posting period, fiscal year, current year, and automatic. We deselected test run. Now let's go ahead and hit execute. So it says either the sender is already settled or there's nothing to settle. So what is actually missing here is our current period. So depending on what period you're in, it uses periods as months. So it is currently April 9th, as you can see down here, 2026. So that means our current period is 4, and our settlement period is 4, and our posting period is also 4. So for this part here, you will need to enter the current period you are in. So again, our order number, our current period, the year, which it is 2026, that stays automatic. We need to deselect test run and go ahead and hit execute. So see that's working now. So in the actual settlement order, basic list screen, select detail list. Oh, is it on more? info. Here we go. It's this little icon up top. So right here, we're going to select detailed list. In the actual settlement order detail list, which is where we're at screen, highlight the amount and select receiver. Highlight the amount. I'm not sure which amount it's talking about. Let's see. In the actual settlement order detailed list screen, highlight the amount and select receiver. So we're just going to go to that and select receiver. We got an error. Please position cursor correctly. Maybe that's the amount. Or let's try that again. Nope, same error. So, or maybe it's just maybe it's the top one because it's the only thing with the full text. So let's hit receiver. There we go. It was the top one. The only one that has a complete line item. In the actual settlement, order receiver debts. Okay, actual settlement order receiver debts. Right click on the first receiver and select choose detail. Okay, so that's the first receiver. So we're going to right click on the first receiver and choose detail. Or is it detail up top? Yeah, detail up top. So let's click detail. And it seems like that's all for that section. Yep, that's all for that section. But by doing that, the SAP will automatically have settled your account since we had that 1750 total. So in order to demonstrate what we just did, we're going to go on to the next section, 4.18, display internal order balance, part 3. So let's follow this. Let's go to accounting, controlling, internal orders, master data, special functions, order, and display. So that is our only order. We're going to hit enter. Okay, and then once we're there, in display internal order master data, we're going to hit extras and order balance. So now we can see that our order balance has been settled. And the last question is, what is your order balance? So we can see the account settled. All right, everybody, thank you for watching this chapter 3, part 2 SAP config video. I hope it helped, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.